Aaron, thank you very much for having me. Javier Becerra from Los Angeles, California, a very proud member of the California Congressional Delegation. This is my 9th term, actually, now in Congress. I just want to say to David and to Aaron and to all of those who had worked so hard on preparing this report, thank you. Thank you for giving us in Congress something more to work with. To all of the folks at the National Committee for Responsible Philanthropy, don't stop. Keep going, because this is what we need. These are extraordinary times, and more than ever, we need the nonprofit world to step to the plate, because you are more nimble, more courageous, and more innovative than anyone else out there in trying to help address the needs of the American people. We need your creativity. We need your insight, the boldness. More importantly, we need the flexibility that you give government to try to get things done right. You give us the examples of success, the best practices. Taxpayers have rewarded you for being there for America. And I believe taxpayers want to continue to reward the philanthropic world for being there for America. Every time the American public writes a check or forgoes income, revenue to the national government to do the work that the people expect out there in America, it's because we believe we're giving it to someone who can do better with it. And so, if nothing else comes of the few remarks that I'll say this morning, please keep going. Don't stop. Continue to make us proud. We need you more than ever during these extraordinary times. At the same time, those of us in Congress have an obligation as the representatives of the people to make sure that their money, taxpayer money, is being well invested. We have an obligation to do oversight. And whenever tens of billions of dollars are foregone in the federal treasury, and in this case through the tax expenditure we know as a charitable deduction, and additional billions of dollars are foregone because the nonprofit world has tax-exempt status, it's the obligation of the representatives of the people to make sure that we shine as much light on the activities of the nonprofit world as possible. Typically, when we shine the light, you sparkle. But there are occasions when you don't. And no one should feel guilty that that's the case, and no one should cower when that's the case. We should just improve. And so what you have here in this report is an opportunity for the entire nonprofit world to have that pathway to do better, to figure out how we move forward together to improve not only the condition of our nonprofits, but what the American public gets in return. Too often, we hear the stories of the nonprofit that received a great deal of money from the taxpayers in contributions, but gave little back. The example of the Massachusetts anti-cancer charity that had a bicycling race where the all-volunteer staff did a tremendous job, yet the president of that charity received a $500,000 income as a result for an all-volunteer activity. Or the case of the Humane Society, where in Indiana, one of the chapter's treasurers received $65,000 from that charity, and the money we found was used to buy jewelry and makeup. We know those are a fraction of the cases of activities within the nonprofit world, but they exist. And I know very well that when someone in my line of work does something wrong, 60 Minutes will be there in a heartbeat. And we know that when someone in your world does something wrong, 60 Minutes will be there in a heartbeat. And so it's up to us to always elevate the status of the work we do and the people we keep company, with whom we keep company. Because at the end of the day, we rely tremendously on the public to support what we do. And that's why I'm so very pleased to see this report by the National Committee for Responsible Philanthropy. I believe the taxpayers will reward us the more we shine the light on the nonprofit world and show that it is the leader for innovation and social progress. But we have to prove that. And I hope that we can work in partnership with you, Aaron, as we move forward, because I believe many of us in Congress see now the opportunity to do the oversight, but oversight that will show that without philanthropy, we will be lost, not just in government, but as a national community. We need your innovation, we need your support, and we need you also to make sure that some of your folks clean up their shop. Let's work together to make that happen. You've given us great guidelines under which to do that, and we look forward to working with you in partnership to make sure that Americans understand without philanthropy, we don't get as much done. Thank you for letting me be here. I look forward to working with you in the future.